The USA's history begins with its early settlers. In the early 17th century, Europeans arrived on the eastern shores of what would become the United States. These settlers were from various countries, including England, France, and Spain. One of the most famous early settlements was Jamestown, founded in 1607 in Virginia. The settlers faced many hardships, including harsh winters and conflicts with Native Americans. Despite these challenges, they persevered and began to establish a new society. By the late 17th century, 13 colonies had been established along the East Coast. Over time, the settlers began to develop their own identity and culture, distinct from their European roots. This growing sense of independence set the stage for future conflicts with the British Crown. The early settlers laid the foundation for what would become the United States, but it was a foundation built through both collaboration and struggle. The desire for independence grew stronger in the 18th century. The British imposed taxes and regulations on the colonies, leading to widespread dissatisfaction. No taxation without representation became a rallying cry. In 1776, this discontent culminated in the Declaration of Independence. Written by Thomas Jefferson, it was adopted by the Continental Congress on July 4th. The Declaration proclaimed the colonies' freedom from British rule and outlined the principles of individual rights and government by consent. The American Revolution followed, with battles raging from 1775 to 1783. Key figures like George Washington and Benjamin Franklin played crucial roles. The Treaty of Paris, signed in 1783, officially ended the war and recognized American independence. The United States of America was born, but the journey to build a unified nation was just beginning. After gaining independence, the new nation faced the challenge of creating a stable government. The Articles of Confederation, the first governing document, proved to be weak and ineffective. In 1787, delegates from the states gathered in Philadelphia for the Constitutional Convention. Their goal was to draft a new constitution that would create a balance between state and federal powers. The resulting document, the United States Constitution, established the framework for the national government and outlined the rights of citizens. The Constitution was ratified in 1788, and George Washington was elected as the first president. The new government included a system of checks and balances with three branches: executive, legislative, and judicial. The Bill of Rights, the first 10 amendments to the Constitution, was added in 1791. It guaranteed fundamental rights such as freedom of speech, religion, and the press. The formation of the Constitution and the federal government marked a significant step in the development of the United States as a democratic nation. The 19th century saw growing tensions between the northern and southern states. Differences in economic interests, cultural values, and views on slavery created deep divisions. The northern states were industrializing and favored a strong central government, while the southern states relied on agriculture and supported states' rights. These tensions came to a head in 1860, when Abraham Lincoln was elected president. His anti-slavery stance prompted southern states to secede from the Union, forming the Confederacy. This led to the outbreak of the Civil War in 1861, a conflict that would last 4 brutal years. The Civil War was the deadliest conflict in American history, with over 600,000 lives lost. The Union, led by Lincoln and generals like Ulysses S. Grant, eventually emerged victorious. The Confederacy was defeated, and slavery was abolished with the 13th Amendment. The Civil War transformed the United States, setting the stage for future struggles for civil rights and equality. The early 20th century brought 2 global conflicts that profoundly affected the United States. World War I saw the U.S. initially adopt neutrality, but joined in 1917. The U.S. played a crucial role in the Allied victory. World War II had an even greater impact. Pearl Harbor in 1941 led to total mobilization. Key events included D-Day and the defeat of Nazi Germany and Imperial Japan. The U.S. emerged as a leading superpower. The mid-20th century was a time of profound social change in the United States. The Civil Rights Movement sought to end racial segregation and discrimination against African Americans. Key figures like Martin Luther King Jr., Rosa Parks, and Malcolm X emerged as leaders, advocating for equality and justice. The movement gained momentum in the 1950s and 1960s. The landmark Supreme Court case Brown v. Board of Education in 1954 declared racial segregation in public schools unconstitutional. Peaceful protests, such as the Montgomery bus boycott and the March on Washington, brought national attention to the cause. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 and the Voting Rights Act of 1965 were major legislative achievements, outlawing discrimination and protecting voting rights. Despite these gains, the fight for civil rights continued, addressing issues like economic inequality and police brutality. The civil rights movement had a lasting impact on American society. It challenged the status quo and paved the way for subsequent movements advocating for the rights of women, LGBTQ+ individuals, and other marginalized groups. Following World War II, the United States entered a period of geopolitical tension known as the Cold War. This conflict was primarily between the US and the Soviet Union, lasting from the late 1940s to the early 1990s. Characterized by political, military, and ideological rivalry, it never escalated into direct warfare. One key element was the arms race, leading to mutual assured destruction. The space race, with the US landing a man on the moon in 1969, symbolized technological supremacy. The Cold War ended with the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, marking the end of a significant era. The late 20th and early 21st centuries have been marked by rapid advancements and significant changes in the United States. Technological innovation has been at the forefront, transforming every aspect of life. The rise of the internet and digital technology has revolutionized communication, commerce, and entertainment. Healthcare has also seen remarkable advancements. The development of new medical technologies and treatments has improved quality of life and extended lifespans. Innovations like the Human Genome Project have opened new frontiers in genetic research and personalized medicine. Social and cultural changes have been equally profound. Movements advocating for gender equality, LGBTQ+ rights, and racial justice have continued to shape American society. The election of Barack Obama, the first African-American president in 2008, was a historic milestone that reflected changing attitudes and demographics. Modern advancements have positioned the United States as a dynamic and influential force in the 21st century. Today, the United States plays a pivotal role in the international community. As a leading economic, military, and cultural power, its actions and policies have global implications. The U.S. is a key member of international organizations such as the United Nations, NATO, and the World Trade Organization. American culture, from Hollywood movies to fast food, has a significant impact worldwide. The U.S. is also a leader in scientific research and technological innovation. Companies like Apple, Google, and Tesla are at the forefront of global technological advancements. The U.S. continues to face challenges and opportunities on the global stage. Issues such as climate change, international terrorism, and economic inequality require cooperative efforts and strong leadership. The United States' ability to navigate these challenges will shape its future and its role in the world. Understanding this history is crucial to appreciating the nation's present and anticipating its future.